Hey y'all, it's me, Tree. So today I am seeing a much different emotional progression than my typical cool and calm collective. These emotions are very different from usual. We are starting with a dilemma, and then we have inspiration, and then collective, we end in anger. So, what I'm getting here is dilemma. Well, that tells me y'all have been sitting with something that needed to be understood. I'm getting something was presented one way, but over time, the reality of it started looking, I don't know, very different, I'm going to say. And then the emotion, it turns to inspiration. And this inspiration, it feels like the breakthrough of this message. I'm getting that something finally clicks. The collective begins seeing possibilities that weren't available while y'all were still trying to make sense of this dilemma. But then we end in anger. And anger, well, this can show us where a need wasn't met, or more importantly, this can show us where a boundary was crossed. And sometimes y'all don't even reach anger until you are far enough outside of something to finally see the full impact of what exactly it was and what exactly happened. So, collective, there is a full progression here. Something has to be understood first. Then, something becomes illuminated. And once y'all can finally see the entire situation for what it was, anger, that becomes the appropriate response. Now let's get into this message because we're starting under this emotional tone of dilemma, and the tarot is bringing the message in with the Page of Cups reversed, the Seven of Cups reversed, Four of Cups reversed. So, with this Page of Cups reversed, this looks like some kind of emotional or romantic gesture that was presented to y'all. But there was something manipulative about it, wasn't there, collective? I'm getting that something was offered. Or maybe something was implied. Whatever it was, y'all were given a reason to believe there was sincerity behind an offer that was being presented. But collective, I'm getting that eventually the offer and the behavior around the offer, that stopped matching. And naturally, that would have created a dilemma, wouldn't it? Because I'm getting y'all were responding to what somebody showed you. And if somebody comes towards y'all emotionally and presents something as sincere, there is naturally going to be a period where y'all evaluate it based on the information you were given. But then we move into the Seven of Cups reversed. And this card tells me y'all have studied this situation long enough. Y'all have watched what happened. y'all have compared the original offer to everything that followed it. And now the picture is very, very clear. I'm getting whatever confusion surrounded this situation before, that isn't really available anymore. Because the collective, y'all can see what was misrepresented, can't you? Y'all can see the things that did not add up. And once this clarity lands, collective, well, we naturally move into the Four of Cups reverse. This is where y'all land in self-awareness and y'all decide to re-engage with life. Because I'm getting, instead of continuing to pour y'all's attention into the person who presented this manipulative offer, y'all turn that attention back towards yourselves. The collective becomes proactive again. Y'all start focusing on your own life, y'all's own plans, y'all's own experiences, and y'all's own happiness. So I'm getting whatever this offer was connected to, that starts losing relevance because y'all are no longer sitting there trying to solve it. And that's because, well, y'all already solved it, didn't you, collective? The collective is aware now. And I'm going to say it. Y'all are discerning, and nothing is getting past y'all anymore, is it? So, I don't know. I almost feel like the dilemma for the collective, it ends right here. Because the dilemma only existed while there was something left to figure out. And once y'all clearly saw that the offer was manipulative and not what it appeared to be, well, there really wasn't much left to decide, now was there? Y'all dismissed whatever was attached to it and y'all re-engaged with your own life. And that shifts us over to this inspiration. And the tarot that we have under inspiration is the Ten of Coins reverse, the Six of Coins upright, the Eight of Swords reverse. We're getting a lot of reversals here, guys. So this, with this Ten of Coins reverse, this looks like a structure that has broken down. Something that may have once appeared stable or established, that has completely collapsed. And I think we have to connect this back to the manipulative offer we just saw. Because I'm getting whatever happened here did not stay contained between two people. It affected an entire environment around it. It affected relationships. It affected the way people interacted in the environment. And it affected the structure itself. So I'm getting, by the time we arrive at this Ten of Coins reverse, something larger has already been damaged by the first column. And then comes this Six of Coins upright, which is about giving and receiving. And I have to say it, collective, this is where a clear bait and switch becomes very obvious. Because after this structure was already broken down, somebody is offering equal exchange to the collective as though it is really available. Y'all are being shown the possibility of balance. y'all are being shown the possibility of reciprocity. The possibility that everybody can still give and receive evenly inside of this structure. But I'm getting the problem is that the structure required to support this kind of exchange, that has already collapsed completely. So now y'all have to ask, how am I supposed to receive equally inside of something that has already been destabilized? How is this supposed to be considered as fair? How is this supposed to be considered as balanced? And how am I supposed to keep participating as though nothing has changed when clearly every single thing has changed? And I think that's where inspiration really hits, collective, because the enlightenment is not that y'all suddenly figure out how to make this arrangement work. The enlightenment is you realizing that y'all don't have to. And then we move into the Eight of Swords reversed. And this is where the collective finally breaks the mental trap and getting y'all stop believing that the original offer can still become what it pretended to be. Y'all stop believing that equal exchange can somehow be restored inside of a structure that is no longer supporting it. Y'all stop believing that if you just wait long enough, understand enough, or give enough, that the situation will eventually become fair. And getting that whole idea is getting released. And that is the inspiration. Because y'all are finally seeing another possibility here. That's the possibility of leaving. The possibility of no longer participating. The possibility of taking your energy somewhere that does not require you to negotiate for basic reciprocity. And I'm getting y'all realize that walking away from this structure, that does not leave you with nothing. It actually frees you from continuing to participate in a bait and switch dynamic. So, the collective, y'all were initially presented with one thing, a manipulative offer. And then the environment changed. The structure that was holding y'all, that broke down. And then y'all were expected to behave as though the original offer was still available when it wasn't. And once y'all see that, y'all escape because the mental trap breaks. But with that mental trap breaking brings on a whole new emotion for y'all. Because now we're moving into anger. And the tarot, that's driving us home. With the Four of Wands reversed, the Seven of Coins, and the Nine of Coins. So with this Four of Wands reversed, this is about people being divided. And now y'all are finally looking at the entire ecosystem that this manipulative offer created. This did not just cause disappointment between two people. This manipulative offer, it created division. Something that should have been supportive became unsupportive. Something that may have once offered community or belonging, that became fractured. People's positions changed. The atmosphere changed. Somebody may have stopped feeling welcome here. Collective. Somebody may have removed themselves completely because staying inside of that environment no longer felt healthy or safe. Collective. Is that you? And now I'm getting the collective can finally look at the entire chain of events from beginning to end. A manipulative offer was presented. That offer created havoc in the environment. That havoc affected the larger structure altogether. And then y'all were still expected to participate as though equal exchange was available. So I get it, collective. I get it. Y'all had to get out of there. And when y'all finally stepped far enough outside of that situation to see the whole thing clearly, this anger, I don't see it from you guys much, but seeing the anger today, that makes perfect sense. Because this scene, this whole thing was damaging, wasn't it, collective? This person's manipulative offer, that took away y'all's community. It took away y'all's comfort. It took away y'all's sense of belonging. And it forced y'all to spend emotional energy dealing with consequences that y'all simply did not create. And none of this, collective, none of this needed to happen. This isn't doing anyone any good, is it? But then we move into this 7 of coins, and this is about good things taking time. So I'm getting, now y'all begin looking at the long-term picture here. Y'all can acknowledge what this situation costs without allowing that cost to become y'all's entire story. Because the things y'all have actually invested in, all those things are still here. Y'all's growth, that is still here too. And y'all's future, that is also still here. So I'm getting the things y'all have spent time building. Those are all still present and developing. Things for the collective are still coming to fruition. And that lands us on this final ending card, which is the 9 of coins. And we talked about this yesterday. This is a very self-sufficient card. This is the most self-sufficient card in the whole deck. And this talks about rewards of your labor. And I think, collective, this is where this entire message is going to land. Because luckily for y'all, this emotion of anger, this may actually be what y'all really have left to feel about this whole situation. I'm getting that y'all have already gone through all of the emotions that y'all needed to feel and sit with. And now that y'all are landing in anger, that tells me that you're at the last of what this situation and processing it really entails. Because this is where this 9 of coins coins come in. And I have to say, the collective, y'all are still standing. Y'all are still independent. Y'all are still building. Y'all are still moving toward the rewards of your own labor. So, what did this manipulative offer actually take? Maybe some energy. Maybe some of y'all's peace. Maybe y'all had to sit with, I don't know, some unsettling emotions that never really needed to exist in the first place. Maybe somebody lost access to an environment that once provided community or a sense of belonging. And I'm getting that belongs to y'all, collective. And I'm going to say it, y'all are allowed to be angry about that, because this feels like it was very unnecessary. But saying it again, this person, they may have represented a manipulative offer, but they did not, in fact, take what y'all have actually built. They did not take y'all's future. They did not take y'all's independence. And they did not take y'all's ability to continue creating something meaningful for yourselves. So, when we look at this progression from dilemma to inspiration and then into anger, I think the message here becomes very clear, collective. The dilemma started with an emotional or romantic offer that was not what it appeared to be. Y'all studied it until the confusion broke. And once y'all saw it clearly, y'all chose to re-engage with y'all's own life. Then inspiration came in when y'all recognized that bait and switch for what it actually was. The original offer had already damaged the structure you guys were standing in, but equal exchange was still being presented as though it remained possible. And really, with this equal exchange, the only person it's putting out is you, right, collective? The person with the manipulative offer is expected to give equally and with a fair exchange. And y'all finally realized that that wasn't a possibility, huh, collective? So, y'all broke the mental trap. Y'all stopped trying to make an unfair structure produce a fair outcome. And y'all escaped. Then anger, that arose, because once y'all were outside of it, you could finally see the full impact. This is always on a delayed timing scale. Y'all can now see the division. Y'all can now see the loss of support. Y'all can now see what happened to your community and your sense of belonging. And y'all can finally recognize how much unnecessary damage one manipulative offer and one insincere person actually created. But collective, right now is where the damage stops, because y'all are still standing. Y'all are still building. Y'all are still independent. Y'all are still the most self-sufficient card in the whole deck. Y'all are still moving toward everything y'all have been working for. And maybe that is the most important part of this message, because y'all can be angry about somebody who disrupted you without allowing their disruption to define what happens to y'all next. y'all saw the bait and switch, and you got yourselves out. And now y'all get to keep building the life that was already yours before this abstrosity ever even took place. And that's the message that I have for y'all today. So if this one landed, then I want to hear about it. If you made it to the end, then let me know. And make sure y'all are following along. And most importantly, remember, where there is love, there is light. And collective, I know that you're giving yourself the love. This 9 of coins, it says it all. Because y'all didn't let this manipulative offer take you down. You have some emotions to deal with that you haven't been dealing with as of late. But once you get past this anger, collective, my guess is that you're going to be just fine. Another lesson in the book, right? All right, collective. I'll see y'all again real soon.